from an industry source, and PitchBook is a very credited industry source, that Baby is being bought. Let's try to understand what a transaction like this might look like. Scroll up a bit, bud. Um, well, a little bit higher, my man. Just a little bit more. As with most things in business, the story resolves around taxation and its avoidance. So earlier in the thread, we saw that Jeffries recently spun off Vitesse, and we were just going through that, to shareholders tax-free. The USC 355 governs the distribution of stock and securities of a controlled corporation in tandem with the 368 Act and the Subsidiary Act in D. We can understand the tax-free part. And he highlights here that Jeffries expects to spin off, and we went through this up earlier, I believe, as well. He's going to spin off and have it involve formation of a new standalone entity. And really what they're saying here is there's kind of a loophole here to get around this tax issue that they're talking about. So we can close that up.
Is that about right, Roach?
Yeah, and you don't have to go into each one of these pictures. You can really just read his tweets. He does an excellent job of summarizing them.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that.
So the IRS revised ruling 2003-79 provides a user-friendly example of how an acquirer can buy a spun-off subsidiary without tax consequences. Let's take a look and really frustrate the GM elitism crew by adding our own RC-inspired terminology in doing so. Take time to understand. So we've got Company D, known as possibly Baby. A domestic corporation directly conducts Kids and Baby as another business X. And we've got BBBY Core, which is kind of referred to here as Business Y. The D assets are equally divided amongst the two businesses. GME, a domestic corporation unrelated to D, which is BBY, conducts business and wishes to acquire Company D, BBBY again, but not D's Business Y.
BBBY Core.
That's right. So you're going to kind of split up the instruments because all of this is under one parent company.
Right.
So this is really important part. Spend time on this annotated image and really understand what's going on here. To avoid taxation, a deal must meet the requirements of those three acts, which specifically says reorganization.
Let's take a look at it.
To accomplish this acquisition, D, again, BBBY, and A, which is GME, need to agree to undertake the following steps in the following order. BBBY will transfer its business assets, which was Baby again, to C, which is now Teddy. So here's this new subsidiary company that's not really a new one that's created, a newly formed domestic corporation in exchange for 100% of the stock for Teddy. Baby will distribute Teddy's stock to the BBBY shareholders. Now, GME will acquire the assets of Teddy in exchange solely for the voting stock of GME and will liquidate. Apart from that question of whether the acquisition of Teddy's assets by GME will satisfy the requirement of the act, that the acquiring corporation, again, GME, will acquire substantially all the properties of the acquired corporation. Steps 1 and 2 together meet all the requirements of this act. Step 2 meets all the requirements of the first act, and steps 3 and 4 together meet all the requirements of the third act.
All right.
So Section 355 provides...
Oh, are you still reading it? Sorry.
Yeah. So maybe we'll just get to the outline notes by him. BBY holders get Baby stock. BBY holders get GME.
Let's go.
Okay.
God, I hope it's true, man. It has to be.
Hal, is this like a reverse triangle merger of some sort?
Well, he was calling it a horizontal merger, wasn't he?
Yeah, so this is an
of
example of a horizontal merger, but
fuck?
You can do it in many different ways. I think it's reverse triangular because it has the same tax advantages and it's more of a cast and specialty. But you know, no matter how you slice it, they're going to do it in the best way. Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'll read there. If buy baby's assets merge into, I can't see that there, Baby Co. It
Temporary
counts,
baby company, right?
temporary baby company, it counts as a reorg if BBBY controls the temporary baby company.
Which what in
Mm.
what he's getting at is temporary baby is fucking.
Maybe it makes sense
Premise.
why Marantz hates Bed Bath so much, because maybe he knows this is gonna happen.
He
Could you
doesn't
imagine
have a
getting
he doesn't have a
goddamn?
fucking clue.
Yeah, man.
I have my gripes with that. So
Yeah.
Let's move to the next part.
All right, we'll move on.
In a spin-off like this, the baby stock only belongs to the shareholders for a brief moment in time before
Okay.
the acquirer, GME in this example, buys it from BBY shareholders in exchange for GME shares.
Mhm.
Boom. In a baby spin-off, BBY holders will all get acquire shares.
So, is what this is saying is that we would have baby stock until it turns into GME, or we would have baby stock which we could. Well, I'm assuming that's what
you
it
would
means,
have
right?
baby stock for a period of time that you would not even be able to do anything with it.
Oh, and then it turns into GME.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I mean,
But-
this is what happens in a merger. All the IAA stock is now RBA stock. You know, we're talking about Sue's other play that they merged on Monday.
But D4, this is all still hypothetical, guys, right? So we do have a rumor about a January 13th baby acquisition. Those filings, I believe, was done around that time for the February 12, 14. Anyways, market effects suggest something happened around January 13th. Events of default on around the 13th of January. So let's circle back to the ABL agreement. BBY defaulted back in January. So there's the agreement.
Someone was saying dilute GME. All right. Let me see if I
Well,
can zoom.
Yeah,
Be
we
careful
won't
what you ask for.
Can you read this? I mean, what is this basically?
It's just
That's the terms
just
of the ABL.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, we already know
He's-
what the ABL
Yeah, we
is,
already
right?
Yeah,
know.
he's
It's
letting
pretty
you
much
know
everybody, yeah.
what the other events of
Bro, y'all
default
probably
inside
know
the
so many
ABL
people.
are.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because remember again, that filing said amongst other things.
Yeah,
So
right.
there's the agreement there. Let's just scroll down a bit. Let's zero in on one specific event from the list and see what one of the subparts has to say. And if you could just click that, it says any loan party or baby, for example, shall voluntarily commence any proceeding or file any petition or proposal seeking liquidation, reorganization, or other relief of any other federal, state, provincial, or foreign bankruptcy, insolvency, receivership, or similar law not or hereafter in effect, consent to the institution of or fail in the contest in a timely appropriate manner, any proceedings or petition described in clause H of the article, apply or consent for the appointment of a receiver, interim receiver, monitor, administrator, trustee, custodian, sequester, conversator, or similar official for which loan party or material subsidiary.
All right, yeah.
Blah
we
blah
get it.
blah. Where did we just get
Yeah.
see liquidation or reorganization? Where have we seen liquidation
In the
and
tax law. In the
Yeah,
tax
so
law.
yeah,
And we have reorganization in the company as well.
Right.
Interesting.
So the liquidation reorganization required by a tax-free subsidiary spinoff under the 355 just so happened to also represent an event of default under the ABL agreements article subpart.
Let's
There you
take a look
go.
at it. Let's take a fucking look, man.
There's the word
the
liquidate.
document he already
We'll
shared.
liquidate ABL
Yeah.
events of default reorganization. There we
So,
go.
yeah.
Yo, I fucking love this guy, man. Why doesn't he come on the fucking show, man? I begged him all day. I was like, come on the
Dude's got
goddamn show.
a full plate. Like,
Yeah,
his
Yeah, I
wife
don't blame
wants
him.
to kill him for doing this. So.
A baby spinoff on or around January 13th is very likely to be one of the events of default that BBY sandbagged in its 10Q, and the real reason the company raced to deliver the late filing the day after the ABL agent gave notice.
I remember that.
It was a rush.
I'll have you
Yes.
know that filing was released in market hours
Yes,
That's
I
right.
remember that was with Larry. And then
That's
we had
when
the
Larry
King.
showed up.
with
Yeah.
horrible news in market hours. Let's
That's
Yes,
just
right.
leave it
that's what
there.
no company really ever does that. Is that
Never.
right,
And they
Roach?
generally give it on a Friday too, because that
That's how
way
I knew
people
it was
could
a trap.
stew down over the weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
The entire charade around the failure to repay an over advance and delaying of the 10Q was manufactured to hide what was really happening, an ABL default resulting from a baby spinoff of
Holy
reorganization.
fucking shit!
Don't
man.
forget,
This
the
guy is
third-
right.
Yeah. So cool. So Baby is spinning off. BBY isn't going bankrupt. Great. But the pitchbook rumors still said it was Sycamore Partners doing the buyout. Well, in an FTC mandated divestiture, regulators want to see multiple viable buyers first. And this is where you get into the idea of a proxy, so to speak. And I think there must be three. But anyways, while the agencies for some time express their preference for upfront buyers of businesses in certain industries over hold separate arrangements, more recently, regulators have pressed merger partners proposing a divestiture remedy to identify at least three, there it is, potential, interested, and approvable divestiture buyers. Moreover, the authorities are likely to require the use of agency-approved monitors in more and more deals involving. You don't have to read the rest here.
Man,
Yeah,
I'm just so curious. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll
Roach.
save you a little bit of time here. Just the last of what he's saying is PitchBook's telling you Sycamore is the buyer, but under the rules of the regulations, you have to entertain all buyers, and the regulator actually likes to see multiples. So
Mhm.
they like to see that you've taken offers from a wide range of buyers, or at
I
least
see.
as many as you can. And the idea here is that Sycamore is probably the one with loose enough lips to be posted on PitchBook. That made it through the grapevine, and that's what was published. But it's very likely that they are not. And if you remember, Sycamore actually tried to make an offer on GameStop.
Yes, yes, yes. I remember the articles.
Yeah, so they're not what we consider great people,
Right.
and yeah, it's likely that they've got their head in there for a bid, but they would have much rather picked this out of bankruptcy, honestly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Someone said Pete just realized he had the show muted for the last 32 minutes. Are you on mute, Pete?
I don't think so, am I?
Okay, no, you're
No,
good.
he was
No,
here.
man.
All right,
Ah,
Yeah.
just making sure. All right, let's see.
So the
this
rumor
is
was
what you
real.
just said, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. And then right here,
Y'all got to the point of it already, right?
we're almost done, right? Hold on, we're almost there, dude.
So
All right,
right up there, go back up or a little
we
bit
already
down. Yeah,
we
we
already
kind of
covered
that. So
we
go
already
down a
covered that.
bit.
Right here.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of just adding on to the prior
It's the
thing.
same thing. You can go to
Yeah.
the last
One
one
below.
where he's just
Yeah.
talking
So
about
who is the
Which,
acquirer? There
which
you go.
one? Right
that
here.
one right there. Yeah,
This beautiful picture, this
Yeah,
beautiful man
just
right here.
above it. Yeah.
I don't know. I want to stare at this beautiful man all day.
Just go up a
Yeah.
little
Oh my
bit
God.
because it says one need only read the RC Ventures to BBY to see exactly how this is going down. GME is buying Baby, and ICANN is taking the BBBY core as soon as the divestiture of Baby completes. So he's got a couple arrows here where he's showing that GameStop chairman Ryan Cohen, yeah, hit that. GameStop chairman Ryan Cohen has sold his entire position on Bed Bath and Beyond on August 17th. We understand that. We see Bloomberg there, according to a person. Anyways, we need to go through this. How?
No, you guys, you've got it. He's
right.
just saying this is exactly what RC spelled out. This is
Yeah.
what he wants to happen. He's already told you exactly what's going to go down here. All you had to do is look and listen. He's been telling you the whole damn time. This was a very, very complex deal to get done. That's why we needed to hire the best in the world to be on our team to actually get this done. I want to talk about what you saw this morning because I know a lot of people got jacked up this morning, including myself. Why
Let's
not?
hear it.
So that remember, I don't know if you remember yesterday, I told you that it's likely they're going to raise one more tranche
Mhm.
of warrants. And then
Mhm.
after that, you're going to see all of the remaining warrants get exercised at once. They built a big runway in case HSR approval took a long time, but they're not going to need it now because HSR approval was given about a week and a half ago, in our honest opinion. So they're only going to need the one more raise. So basically, the financier or Hudson has said, "Yep, you're good. We don't even care about price failures anymore. We're going to waive that." And you notice how they said, as of this morning at 9:30 a.m.,
Uh-huh.
there are no outstanding non-public material informations that Hudson is not aware of. That is very important. That is a legal framework, the footprint to sign this deal. Okay, is there anything you haven't told us? Is there anything we haven't told you? Right? This is when it happens. I hate to give dates, I really do, but they're important here. I don't want anybody going out and fucking YOLOing options on these dates because this shit is very complex and
Yeah.
things can happen. But there's a gap, a financing gap between April 3rd and April 6th. You notice when they moved the price failure rate, which actually doesn't matter at this point,
So
Mhm.
it was April
they only
3rd.
did it to the 3rd, but they actually need it on the 6th, which we found curious. I think in that period of time, you're going to know. You're going to be told. When we get our proxy materials next week, probably Tuesday, you may also get to know. In the next 2 weeks, the public will know.
All I heard was 421 50-cent
That,
calls.
yeah,
That's
see,
all I
and that's
heard,
why
bro.
I fucking
That's all-
disclaimed it right away.
Yo, let's go. Let's get some calls going, man. I actually
Uh.
bought those dated calls today, and before I even read any of the shit, I was like, I bought them last night. I had them ready. They executed this morning, and it was for 421. I was like, I don't know, 421 seems kind of good. So
I
let's do
want
it.
to give a shout out, of course, to D4nl0w for coming up with
yeah.
the HSR theory and guiding a lot of the people in the Tendy Discord through it.
Yes.
I'd like to point out that inside of that Discord, we knew on Jan 13 and the days following before PitchBook even published, we knew what had happened on those dates. We were very sure of it. When PitchBook published, we were just like, oh, there's confirmation. What we thought was happening on those dates did in fact happen on those dates. Like Dan said, they sandbagged. They very purposely delayed that 10 filing. They sandbagged it in with, among other things, because they legally told you that the event of default was the main reason. But in reality, the rest was in behind it. And that's what you know.
Man, that is
Here we are.
so fucking crazy, man. So what makes you so convinced, Roach, where and again, this is never financial advice, never any kind of financial help or anything, but I am curious, why do you think it's 2 weeks that the world actually knows what's going on? Why is that?
Because of the reverse split capture date of the 27th, but they've given you no proxy materials. They're telling you when they're going to capture, but they're not telling you exactly what you're going to vote on.
Right? Yeah.
And so they may actually slip something else into that vote. We'll see, but I'm not confident in that. But the financing gap that exists between April 3 and April 6, how that was kind of already an existing financing gap, which doesn't matter as much now. We found that very odd, that they wouldn't have at least moved that price failure waiver to the 6th when they actually need it. They bumped it to the 3rd, which it stuck out to us that there was this gap.
Yeah.
That's the week. I'm just telling you, that's the week.
God damn, let's go options, man.
Don't do that.
I'm gonna do it.
Please
You're
don't
talking
do
to
that.
a fucking OG WSB fucking
We're all
8, my
gonna do
friend.
it.
You're gonna have
definitely gonna do it.
problems. Let me just put it this way: at any time, because this is so complex, these
Right.
things can be delayed, moved. It can actually get blown right out of the water. And
All right, leaps it is, man.
Yeah. So this is why
But in the reverse
warrants.
split, all our options contracts get fucked up.
Well, this is why the warrants were
It's 1
structured
for 10 and all that.
in tranches over a very long period of time, because they don't know for sure when they're going to get the green light. So, Bed Bath needed the money to continue to operate while this got done. And that's the same reason you saw them get the emergency FILO loan in August. JPM knew what was happening. They knew in January when they extended the FILO again. they've been in on it the whole fucking time. JPM knows.
Yeah. Tech Nomad says, I'm taking a fourth mortgage on my house and yodeling it on weeklies that week. Holy shit, dude.
Yes.
God damn.
I'm gonna buy his house from the bank about 2 weeks after that.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
I love that. No,
All right, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
anything at any time could change. You look at the delays they've already faced. You know,
Yeah, well, he shouted out like, "Why does the government keep shooting down my balloons?"
exactly.
And that was during the period that we figured the first HSR period had ended, and they made some pretty steep demands of Brett.
Yeah.
And Brett came through, and I'll have like think about it. Brett just spent $400+ million turning around Newell. They
Yeah.
had just spent a shit ton of money on that project to fix that business.
And it's
And
his baby. Imagine having to literally step down. And
And
I
he
think one of the
sold
first concessions was sell this much. And then
Yeah.
we came back at him and said, not only do we want you to sell, but we want you to step down.
he sold 51% of his shares at bottom, right? After spending all that, you don't spend the money for a turnaround and then not stay in to see the fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
That was a very forced move, and he did it. And then they kicked back a second time and said, "You were going to need you off the board too. But if you do that, here's your approval."
Yeah. And that happened on the 30th day from when we thought it was going to have the first round at the HSR
Exactly.
on the 14th. But if you
Yeah.
look at Larry's too and Blake's, they're on the 14th too.
Yeah. You also see Ryan move to get a dismissal from the lawsuit immediately after that.
Yeah.
That would suggest that he wants to clear the plate.
Yeah. It's wild.
Roach,
And
did
these,
y'all did y'all throw around the idea of what happens if they rescind the reverse split, if that's a possibility?
Yeah. So I talked about it at length today, actually, because the split was needed for basically two reasons. One is the price failure at the 71 cents or the 92% 10-day VWAP. That they needed to stay above that. The other one that's huge is the total authorized shares. They need to keep a 200% buffer, and they're running out of authorized shares to be able to actually complete this. And by reverse splitting, that would have opened up a ton of room under the auth shares. With today's waiver, they don't really care about price failure anymore. It's not a thing anymore. It's been waived. Forget about it. The auth shares is still a problem. That's why the RS could still happen. Plus, it would allow them to align their shares with the acquirer shares in a more one-to-one way. However, they could literally pull the rug on it because they'll exercise as many warrants as they possibly can with the auth that they currently have at current prices, and any remainder will actually be called back or forfeited, and that amount of money will be factored into the deal. So they won't do the RS at all. They'll pull it off the docket, and they'll do it that way. They may still do it, and they may not, but those are the reasons we think for and against.
All right,
How-
last. I got one more question for you. That's it. How come? So in the free writing prospectus, the supplement to the offering, and it said that they had currently had it was like 520 something authorized but unissued shares, and then like 260 in treasury, and then now in this new one, oh sorry, yeah, on this new one it says there's only 300 million outstanding and 46. So where the hell did the other shares go?
So they're
Hell,
there.
they're
but,
held.
Where the
yeah.
fuck are they? They just didn't mention them.
They're just not going to the street. They're not going to be tendered into the street.
Well, so you just gonna have to understand there's like kind of three levels to it. There's authorized shares, then treasury shares, and then you're basically what's issued or what's issuable. So they're just in levels, and they can be pulled down out of the treasury. So there is 900 million total auth. That's the level they can get to. However, at today's current pricing, if they were to exercise all the warrants, you're going to end up at like the 1.2 to 1.4 billion. As I'm saying, they don't have the buffer of shares to be able to exercise all the warrants at these prices. And that was the reason for the IRS. But however, they may do as many as they can with the 900 million, forget about the IRS, and recall the rest of the warrants, take them back, make them canceled, and they'll factor that difference in funding into the deal price.
The only
That's
way,
if they cancel it.
the only way around that share issue, right, Hal, is to file for a change in the articles of incorporation, or go this reverse split, and that's how you're kind of solving it temporarily.
I do have a question.
I don't think that's the only way. It said something in there that at the written consent of the holder that they could negotiate the conversion.
That's so that's kind of what I'm talking about. Or they could straight up just recall them and say like, we're not gonna do whatever would bring us over 900 million off. We're not gonna do those. We'll factor that into the acquisition.
I got a question for Roach here.
A
A guy asked, PP asked Roach about option calls and what happens to them if it goes down the way he said. Please, he's curious.
In a reverse split or without a reverse split?
I'm assuming he's talking about with a reverse split.
I can tell you what happens to your option calls in a reverse split scenario.
Pete's got you.
All right, let's hear it.
Yeah, we get the 10. That's worth
you go to the options. Your contract will be worth 10 fucking shares and not 100.
And it will be illiquid.
Yes, and it'll be illiquid. And so I would not hold your options through a reverse split.
All right, I have a guy that wants to come in here. Aster, we're gonna bring you in towards
I'm gonna close all my option contracts before reverse.
Before RS. What if nothing happens? You're still gonna just take the loss?
Your contracts. Have you ever?
Wait, they
have
become
you ever
illiquid.
held?
Like you can't wait, Roach. You can't sell the contracts.
You can. You have to have a market for them, right? So
But
like,
what's
there
to
only
say-
other people who want 10 shares. It's
Yes.
it's strange. The market maker may clump them up and
That's so
fill them
weird.
like that, but all I'm saying is they're typically they're less liquid.
All right.
Oh, after the reverse
Yeah.
split,
All right.
not just the merger.
All right. Real quick, hold on before we bring on Ignoble. We'll bring on Aster real quick for a quick second because he's been waiting for a long time. Hold on 1 second, Ignoble. Aster, what's going on? I thought you had your camera on. Aster, what's up?
Oh, yeah. Hey, what's up?
What's up, man?
Hey, not too much, man. Let me fix that. There we go.
Cool. What's up, man?
Yeah, I have a few shares in BBY,
All right.
and I was just worried about the reverse split because my brokerage they charge a fee. They call it a reorganization fee.
Okay.
So I was concerned about that.
It's gonna be
Should I just sell? and
no.
buy back the
Listen,
split or
listen, it's gonna be not like a per share based fee. It's just gonna be like $50 for an admin to change some numbers in your account, which a computer is actually doing. They're fucking you $50 or call them, find out what the fee is, but it's typically a flat rate for your entire account. I've seen like $50. I've seen $100. They're just trying to make their dime. A good broker won't do that.
yeah, but
to
what do
you.
you
Just call your broker.
see? But
What are you
the thing
worried?
is, I don't have much money invested.
Just call your broker.
I mean, I have a few shares,
So Aster, how much you got in the company? How many shares?
like 30.
30?
Oh Jesus Christ!
30
That's not gonna
shares?
matter.
You're gonna get that
Oh,
fee is
I
gonna
know.
wreck your position. By the way.
Oh, is it
Yeah,
actually?
yeah. If it's the fee is gonna be more than the value
Why
of his
do they
position.
do that? That's so weird.
Yeah.
I didn't know that brokers did that.
What broker are you with? Out of curiosity.
TD
Don't
Ameritrade.
say it.
Oh wow, they do that.
Damn.
TD,
Yeah.
damn.
It's like $38.
Oh,
It's part of
'Cause I did that
Charles
with the
Schwab.
dollar
last
They
year.
got a huge ass fucking pudding in BBY.
Yeah, what you take if you
Yeah,
have a
but I
zero
mean,
commission
but-
account, just
but I
go
mean,
buy
look,
some
you know,
options
not
with your.
not everybody can afford to put in what they can, you know, and he could have. When did you buy Aster? Did you buy like when the stock was $3 a share?
Damn, ABC. you
Actually,
drinking
I
a-
bought my first share like 305.
305.
And then I bought as it went down.
Oh, okay, yeah,
And then
you're putting what you can in.
my average is like 149 right now.
Okay, that's a great average, man, and yeah, I like that. you're putting in what you can, right? So I mean that goes
Yeah.
to as small as your position is to as large as someone like ABC, to people that are in the middle, man. So we appreciate you supporting the stock, man. Yeah, I mean, are you planning to buy more, or what are your plans exactly with this play?
Oh, I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am.
You want to do that?
I'm
Not
hoping,
financial
like,
advice.
if
You
it
want to do
doubles
that
more,
now.
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
could double my shares, and
Dude, the stock price is so low, Aster. I mean, 0.80, man. I mean, this is like,
yeah.
wow.
And
I mean,
the
it doesn't
cool
cost
thing
a lot
is
to get
that
in,
it's low for us to get our average down. It's low for the buyers to get in and get in and buy this company. And it's fucking a great opportunity. So it's kind of a win-win. The only fucks that are gonna lose are the shorts.
I'd like to point out that we're trading at like a $90 to $95 million market cap, and
Yeah.
we've raised 4 times that in the last couple of weeks. Just
Checks.
throwing that out
Well,
there.
to correct you, Roach, given our
Or,
outstanding
yeah,
of
you're right. It's
335
more like
mil
300.
and the
yeah.
90 cents of the share price or whatever, you would
Even
multiply
then,
those
we've
two to
raised
get our
more.
market cap.
Even
Yeah,
then, we've raised more, right?
Yeah.
In cash, like
And
no.
we know a spinoff's coming too. What's that one going to be pegged at? Because we're getting shares in that, so they agreed on a stock price, so to speak, right, Al?
Tomas, appreciate the 10, man. Lemon character holding his hands. Okay, it's just a sticker.
They
Or
very,
do you-
very well could have.
Chikorino.
I know I just talked about the April 3rd to April 6th. If you want some tinfoil,
Mhm.
you go look at what RC tweeted on April 3rd.
All right, somebody.
Was that the 69 number?
Pete, pull it up.
If you want the,
Pulling it up.
if you want the
Pete,
April
I need it
3rd
up now.
tinfoil.
How you could have
That's-
just told us what he tweeted, man.
Yeah, I want you to pull it up on the screen so
Yeah,
everybody
we're gonna
gets
pull it up
jacked.
on the screen and get jacked.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, what date?
Ligma.
April 3.
April.
Come on, boys.
Ligma, you fucking dick.
Don't tell me it's the 69 one.
Uh,
I'm in May.
No, it's a pretty important tweet. I think
Fucking
you'll all
asshole.
recognize it.
This is the frog with the ice cream. I love that one.
all right, pull up the fucking
That's the
tweet.
baby. Yeah, it's the baby. Very cool.
There you
Uh-oh.
go.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Here, pull it up. Let's see it.
All right.
And then in a little bit after, we got to let you go. We got a guy who's going to talk a little bit about banking, I think,
Okay.
right after you.
Cheers, brother.
I feel like Will's a banker.
All right.
Uh,
There's our baby.
Yeah, Aster, next time you're on Reddit, man, you need to check out some of those meme videos, dude. I think you'll enjoy them. I think you say you were trying to look at them on my profile. Right? Should be able to see them under submitted.
Oh yeah, I go by a different.
Is it the
ID on,
fucking baby?
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, let's see what April 3rd, we have the baby. The last time people were excited to see me. God
think-
damn it, I can't contain myself, Roach.
It's going to be the first time in a long time that
Oh, so-
people are going to be
oh,
happy with
man.
him.
I think so, man. Maybe this is it. Morantz will be
I want to
pissed.
know
He'll
why
be
he
screaming
hasn't
up and
tweeted
down.
since
I swear to
GameStop
God, if
earnings.
that baby photo lets me down.
He had to keep his arms distance. You notice his tweets always come after an event, not before an event.
All right,
Yeah, I
Aster.
mean the event was the stock ripped
We
50%.
appreciate it, man.
He didn't tweet.
See you, bro.
Roach, what's y'all's take on all this dark pool activity? Do you like, or I mean, sorry, not dark pool. The fact that it says they returned like 11 million shares today.
So I think what you
Aster's cool.
if you go look at something called the hedge loan balance (HLB), which is the market maker actually borrowing shares, it was enormous.
Where the fuck did I find that at?
I don't know. It's provided to me by a guy in the Discord. He's
Somebody's
the
got a
option-
Bloomberg.
I got a guy.
I think I
Yeah.
have a dude. Oh yeah. Go ahead, Roach. I just have a dude
Well,
on
it was
coming after.
astronomical for quite some time, and
You gotta tweet that.
we found it kind of crazy because it appeared as if the market maker was net short, and ready to get caught with their pants down. So I think you're seeing them reposition right now, to not end up in a situation where they feedback loop themselves into fuckery. So
So they're using what, like sham resets and shit like that to do it, or they're just
they were just
Sure.
borrowing a fuck ton of shares, and I mean a fuck ton. I think the
odd.
hedge loan balance was up to like 80 million, 85 million at one point. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're repositioning that, and that's where you're seeing these huge amounts coming
All
through.
right, we're gonna bring a dude in. I think he
That
has
Peter
a
G
couple.
guy, do you have a Pornhub password? What the fuck's wrong with you? It's free. Log on. Fine.
All right. All right. Let's bring
He's got
in
a fucking
this guy.
account.
Let's bring in this guy. Hey, what's going on, my man?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, man. This isn't Carrington, is it? You sound like Carrington.
No, I've got a bigger dick than Carrington.
All right. All right. Tell us if you had some questions for Roach or what you wanted to come on and maybe discuss a little bit, maybe about 10 minutes or so. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, for sure. So first off, anything I say is not financial advice. I am a 70 IQ degenerate. Do not listen to anything I have to say as far as making your own decisions on financial instruments and everything like that. Briefly, before I tie everything into meme stocks, I am still bullish on Bed Bath & Beyond. The only thing that I am concerned with is the dilution of common stock via the warrant program and the conversions from warrants, because in my opinion, the real value comes from the dividends, getting long-term assets basically from these acquisition and mergers that are supposedly about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I am currently holding, just so everybody's aware, I'm currently holding about $30,000 in GameStop and about $10,000 in Bed Bath. And depending on what I see in the next couple of days, I may end up buying about 7,500 more shares of Bed Bath to offset the reverse split.
When are you planning on doing that?
In the next couple of days, probably Monday or Tuesday. It depends on what I see.
So ignoble victory. Hopefully I said that right. Just so you know, the preferred shares are entitled to dividends.
Right.
Yeah.
So
but they don't necessarily have to go into common to be able to get a hold of the spin-off.
Right. But the common stock that has supposedly been created is diluting the amount of dividends that we retail would get. It's not necessarily Bed Bath cutting their nose off by their face. In this case, we're the face. It's retail, but in my opinion, we're going to get less opportunity for long-term wealth because we're going to get less shares after a reverse split. More of that will go to whoever holds the warrants in the converted common stock, in my opinion.
I think you're going to make so much fucking money that you're not going to care.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't think the dilution will matter at all. Like, honest to God,
And
how short this fucking thing is.
I think they're going to
good
wait
Lord.
and blend it in as this thing really hits a top peak price. I don't think you're going to see it happen right at the beginning. So I don't think it's going to be as a struggle for us.
Right. It's just for me. I saw early the long-term value for getting share dividends in an acquisition and a merger. Because personally, for me, my strategy is it's pretty much concrete that there's going to be some sort of partial stock deal or full stock deal getting rolled in via a spinoff or a full transaction.
So you're pumped up to get GameStop shares in exchange for a chunk of your baby?
Basically, that's my personal long-term strategy. I'm going to be holding GameStop because whatever I have more faith in, Ryan Cohen and what I know has been going on with GameStop. It's not that I don't trust Sue Gov or anybody working with Bed Bath. I just don't. There's so many unknown or possibly unknown parties involved. I would rather invest in who I know and what I know versus what is considerably a risky play in contrast.
Roach, if we get double stock, we keep our BBBY and we're going to be given GME stock. Is that not going to, in a sense, kind of dilute GME in the long run?
Those shares are already authorized over at GME, and I'd like to point back to when GME increased their authorized share amount when they announced the splivvy.
Right.
They listed out reasons on why they needed more shares, and the number one was to affect the splivvy. The number two was acquisitions, and they all we all voted for. I voted for that, right? So we've already given permission from the GME side for these things to be used in an acquisition.
Makes sense.
Right.
They're already there. They're ready to go.
Right.
Right. I agree 100%. It's just if we had, so if our shares weren't getting reduced in order to allow this transaction, we would be getting more eventual GameStop shares when whatever
Yeah.
spin-off and acquisition happens.
So I think what you've got to look at is the fact that somebody had to pre-fund this spin-off, and it wasn't going to be retail, right? So
Oh, right,
you
100%.
remember in The Big Short when he said I get the cherry, but you get the sundae.
Right, I agree.
How are you fucking me? That's how they're fucking you.
Yeah.
Right.
Appreciate the
I agree
dollar
100%.
tip, bro.
I agree.
Unrestrained.
I agree 100%. And it's more of my personal investments versus I think we're getting fucked, if that makes any sense. I hope I'm making that clear. We're
Yeah.
still
Wait,
coming
say that
out
again?
ahead.
Okay, yeah. So you don't think we're getting fucked on this deal?
No, I don't think we're getting fucked at all. I
Right.
think it's very important to most of the participants in this equity raise that retail investors who are going to drive the commerce of the resulting entities be kept whole in some way.
Okay,
know,
in 1 minute or less,
That's
what is
very astute.
what is your entire thesis summed up in 1 minute or less?
In 1 minute or less,
Or less.
it's all about shares. It's all about
What's your
I'm gonna sell
thesis?
Bed Bath.
Carrington, appreciate the 10, man. My mom didn't say I couldn't tip pee-pee. Hey, use that money wisely, man. Tell me, what's your thesis in 1 minute?
In 1 minute, the long term play for me personally, I'm going to sell Bed Bath, most of my Bed Bath position into a squeeze, and hopefully convert my immediate profits or proceeds into immediate hedging of any volatility and things like that. I believe that there is real value and real potential for investors if they time their stuff right, their positions and their exits, their entries and their exits to make real money.
So when did you first buy your position in this company?
In Bed Bath, I first bought after Ryan Cohen sold his stake supposedly. I don't think
so
he
you
was
bought August 18th.
I
17th?
bought in the next 60 days. My cost basis, I have a chunk above $10, and then most of it has been down cost averaging since then.
What's your average now?
I couldn't tell you. I just
can't pull
reversed the IRS back to Fidelity. I don't have that
Okay.
pulled up on my phone right now because like two-factor
okay.
into that.
I didn't know if maybe you checked it in the last week or so, maybe what your average was.
No, but after if I load up Monday or Tuesday, it should go down significantly.
Oh, okay.
You sound a lot like me. Like I started buying after RC sold.
Really?
Yeah, I started
Wow.
after it was under 5, but I knew that it didn't make sense and that RC wasn't bag holding his following,
Mhm.
and that
Right.
that wasn't his MO, and that's what actually turned me on to this. I didn't follow him into it. I followed into it after he left.
Right, for sure. I don't think, like I said, anybody who's trying to get a chunk of flesh out of Bed Bath or incorporate with Bed Bath is not going to do wrong by retail, who are basically going to be the fanatical drivers of whatever commerce entity results, right? And with the time constraints, I definitely understand if I could come back on Saturday and interlace the macroeconomics, just like explain why meme stocks happened and how it plays into the national or global economy, if that's possible. Because I had some people contact me on Reddit after seeing me last week here on PP Show asking about it.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Real quick, let me just read this. Unrestrained tip $10 at PP. You're a well-spoken gent, but your use of the word fuck leans a little towards overuse. I love fuck. I'm not offended by fuck. Your sentence flow is outstanding. It's more so you're placing a fuck. All right, man. I'll tell you what. I'll try for the next 10 minutes not to say a single fuck word. How about that?
Dude, he owns a dildo store. He can put fucks wherever he wants.
All right. Well, we heard from Ignoble Victory. I wish we had a little bit more time. Next week, we'll do it a little bit longer, and you can come in and talk a little bit more. All right. Sound good?
All right, perfect. Thank you for having me. It was great to speak to everybody and address chat. Thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Take care, man.
Does anybody
Love
have
to
a
have him
fucking
talk about
average
the
under 250?
macro stuff.
I have like $1.60 to $1.70 right now on 30,000.
We're running a poll right now. Carrington GPT ban. Yes, perma. Yes, 3 days. No ban at all. An 8K drop today. So far, we got 42% voting no ban at all. Guess Carrington might actually end up not getting banned, man. It's up to the chat.
Wow.
So
That's
I'm saying
bullshit.
that,
You can't vote your
No
way out
ban.
of a ban.
perma and no ban is very close right now. So
I'm at 185 average.
Average?
And
Let me
the
see what
wife
mine
is
is, 'cause
191.
When
'Cause
did
I-
you fucking buy in?
I bought.
I didn't even do it. I got in like January 2nd.
What's
I
my
I wasn't
average?
too far after you. January 10th, somewhere
I
around
knew
there, guys.
jack shit about any of this before then.
My
Likewise.
average is 270. It's not too bad.
Oh, you fucker! You got me by 3 cents.
My average used to be like 9 to 11 because like me, I got in early August. I got in at $5, 560 actually, and bought like hell, man. And my portfolio raised like crazy. And I was like, man, dude, this is really it. Ryan Cohen, new company. I mean, like I felt like I was on the world, man. Timed it perfectly. Got in, and whenever
Beating
the
himself up ever
and
since.
then eight months later, I'm right here running a show, fucking with an astronaut outfit. Yeah, I mean, like, my average at one point actually got up to 11 because I
Dude.
bought into the squeeze too because I
Wow.
just kept putting money in.
Teddy's got 130,000 shares at 224.
Holy
I
shit!
think you're gonna see a lot of big numbers start to show up over the next few days because
When
people are
Pete
buying
got
at
into
80
this, there's
cents
no way
right
he
now.
thought this was gonna.
I mean,
be
yeah, like
right.
yeah. You might as well just keep putting in money if you have it, right? At this point,
Not financial
because-
advice, but yes.
not financial advice. If you like the company and you think the company
I
succeeds,
mean, if you want to be
right?
DFV, this
Well,
is the play.
Well, look, if you think the company will
Wait,
succeed,
didn't he only put like 30
it's worth
grand
more
in?
than 80 cents. So there you go. Technomad?
No. DV or DFV back in the day.
DFV bought 50 grand in options.
We're all down
and
50
turn it
grand
into like
right
$2
now, so.
zillion.
And
It
that's
turned
why I think
into like 30 million, I think it's high, I believe.
So what? ABC's got like 200,000 shares or some shit like that. I don't.
Okay.
no, I got 160. Man.
Well, we don't know if
And then the
ABC's
wife- the
maybe
wife-
swing trading and getting rid of
160?
his risk. I mean, we have no idea. We don't know
Yeah.
what he has.
You should buy 40,000 more just because this is going to happen.
Why don't you buy 40,000 more?
No,
My
no.
wife would fucking
The
kill me.
wife has got a boatload too, right? So
She doesn't even know how much is in it.
Oh, you better be quiet, man. She's gonna come take the rest of your furniture up there.
Dude, she bitched at me when I got a new car.
She's gonna. That's why she took all
there's
the
a
furniture
great
away from you.
question for Roach here. Roach, what can
Yeah.
wreck this deal? Not delay, but end it. Is there anything that can literally take this entire deal off the table?
I'm curious of that too.
I mean, anything could take the deal off the table, but if I was to identify like the biggest risks here is that the acquiring party finds something inside a Bed Bath that absolutely terrifies them to the point where this deal is no longer manageable. Now, you would think they've gotten to a point, especially with what you've kind of saw today with the disclosure non-public, that they're comfortable. They've seen everything, and you have to remember Kirk and Ellis was here, and they've probably done most of the accounting. So you would think that everything's been divested, but if something comes through, it's going to be a problem. If this would have went to bankruptcy, it's very possible that the good actors were not going to be able to get it because the bad actors were going to outbid them, right? It's a free for all. And that's why it would have been so much easier for this company to go into bankruptcy protection and reorg under that protection versus what they're doing here. This is way more complicated than just going into bankruptcy and reorging. And they did that on purpose because if it goes into bankruptcy protection and they ended up being liquidated, it's going to go to the top bidder, not necessarily who's best for the future of these businesses. So yeah, that's the main risk I see. I think the regulator risk was the biggest one remaining, and in my opinion, that's over.
Yeah. And they were working on that for like 6 months.
Jorge says, "Don't listen to these morons." Jeez, man, why you care about people's money so much?
Jorge.
Weird
He
shit.
wants to give us some advice. It says there, hey, Jorge, you want to give us some advice? Come on in, man.
He's already blocked. He's already gone. He's in limbo now, ABC, where he can only hear us. Can't say anything.
So what do you think is going to happen, Hal? I mean, if we have kind of a magical April 3rd to April 6th, we're going to get possibly an announcement of some sort, probably by
I don't know what you're going to get. You're going to know more than you know now.
Yeah,
That's all I'll tell you. You might get the whole thing at once, but I think they'll ladder this out to an extent. So you're going to get something before then. In all honesty, you've taken your ass fucking. We all have taken our ass fucking for a very long time now.
Yes.
And it's about time to do the fucking, right?
Yes.
You paid your dues.
Yes.
We all have.
Yeah.
Shareholders will be made whole. Like your last guy was saying, like, you'd be stupid to walk away from a following like this. You saw what happened over at GameStop. When you pick up this kind of enthusiasm behind your business, you don't fuck around too much, right?
Yeah. And it'll be kind of a long-term thing too, because it's not just this deal happens and then it kind of goes sideways. It's literally going to be layered with, basket announcements and so on. So my question, Hal, do you think it could be delayed up until the 12th, or is it going to be the buyer that's going to announce, not
the buyer will announce? They will give the first suggestion of their interest, and you may actually get that from two sides. You may get that from Newell's side and the ICANN side, and you may get that from GameStop's side as well. It's very possible here that you end up getting shares from both of those companies in two separate transactions.
Is the split going to be 1 to 10 or 1 to 5? What is your opinion?
Whatever is going to best align their shares for the acquirer's shares.
So there's really no way to tell.
It's
There's really
whatever
no
the
way.
price is on the day they split, they're going to make that call. Typically, when you say the maximum, you do the maximum.
Mhm.
But in this case, if it's with a deal, roll the dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you saying there is a possibility, like maybe, to play this option chain for the 21st? Because if there happens to be a run up, or let me ask you this first. Do you believe there's at all a possibility of a minor run up before the RS?
Depends. I've heard some stuff about CUSIP run-ups and how that could happen.
I had a stock that ran up in advance of
Of an
Yeah,
RS?
I've seen it before on multiple.
And
I've
typically,
also
how
seen it
violent?
not happen.
How
right?
violent can they typically be?
It can be fairly a decent run. Now,
45 cents to 75 cents in the case of mine.
PB's getting excited.
yeah. But I just
how
gonna
you
put this
announce
out there is like
at home.
this is a stock that's heavily manipulated and
Yes.
controlled, right?
Yes.
They're not gonna let you get too far here. There are likely short sellers here that have no fucking choice anymore. They need this to go to zero. There is no exit as of right now. And I hate to say this, but I think our boy Caston is currently rug pulling them. Like
He has
he
to
let
be.
them dig the hole very, very deep.
Right.
There is no way out.
Right.
You cannot borrow against this position in an amount that would allow you to get out.
Good Lord Almighty,
Yeah.
man.
And then they think there was all these shares coming online, and you can look at the cost to borrow and the FTDs, and you kind of start to understand, well, holy shit, these shares are probably not making their way around.
I'm just trying to understand why Dang didn't wait until for some of this DD to come out, and apparently I heard he took a $95,000 or $90,000
saw
loss
it,
and
yeah.
paper handed, and he's done.
That's fine. Like that's his own.
Everybody
It
knows
is
that
his
one.
own. Yes,
you
yes,
know.
but man, it's just the emotions, man. They can get to you, and That's why, like, you
And that's
never
why
trade on
William's so
emotions.
right. William's so right in your factual approach and looking at it, because we can get so carried away with the RC stuff. Now we happen to be on the right side of this, but there's been other times where you have seen death spirals, or so it's so individual in terms of how you want to play this risk and how you want to go at it. I'm going to take some profits in this initial little bit, but I'm here for the long term too because of RC and what these guys are about to build. We are going to see a brand new friggin' Amazon competitor come out of this, and imagine how big and bold and beautiful this thing can become.
Roach, we had some questions for some personal PTs of yours.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Let's hear it.
So I'm going to do
Said Jesus.
not financial advice, and I'm going to do this based on the current the 117 million. I'm going to
Okay.
base
Not
all of this
including
on
the-
no.
Okay.
Forget about the total standing we just got. My initial fair value for this company was
Bless you.
between $8 and $12.
$8 and
That's what
$12.
that's what I think fundamentally you could have valued it at, especially in a premium transaction.
Okay.
Beyond that, I'm not going to give my exact squeeze targets, but
You
I
can
will
give us like a range, right?
I'll say anywhere where I would be taking a lot of my money off the table was between $30 and $60. That's a
Mhm.
very broad range. I have exact numbers in there, but I don't like that.
Right. No, that's okay. You don't have to share that. That's totally fine. And obviously with an RS, we're looking at that's about 600 to 800 a share. Or I'm sorry, that's about 300 to
If you get
600
a 10 to 1, right?
if you get a 10 to 1.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I think that Baby is worth multiple billions. I think Baby's a very, very valuable asset. I think that look, Baby can be spun off in the right direction if the right person can do it. And I honestly think Ryan Cohn's the one who's going to do that.
Well,
So
here's the thing. You're going to see your value in something like a squeeze. You're also going to see your value in the shares that you're going to acquire from the acquiring shares that you're going to, like potentially
Right.
GameStop shares or Newell shares.
Yeah.
So your value is not all going to be squeeze money, right? I think it's important. We all recognize that taking your principal off the table at some point is a smart decision.
Absolutely.
I don't play options. I don't own any options.
Yeah.
I'm not an options guy. So
That's all right.
Me either. Yeah, me too.
Thank God.
Yeah.
UCopy actually bought some options today.
Well, I hope it was for April 21st.
It actually was. It's so
Oh,
funny.
really?
Like everyone,
Yeah.
all the degens just like fucking hive mind.
yeah, I've just convinced a bunch of people to diamond hand their fucking April strikes into the dirt. That's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I